Okay, in this video, we are going to learn how to make a pond. Because if we just click on water, water goes on forever. It's an infinite plane. And if you want to make a pond, you don't want to see water in the background. So what we're going to do, I'm going to delete my water, and I'm going to start with a mountain. And I'm going to edit my mountain. I'm going to flatten the mountain out like I usually do. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hole in what is now my ground. And I don't want it to be like a perfect little circle, so I might change the size of this so that I get some different variations in my pond that I'm making here. Then I'm going to erode it. And I'll hit my check. So I now have this pond here. I need to change the direction of where this is, just like we did before. So I'm going to do that, make the whole thing bigger. And I'm not going to actually mess with this time. I'm just going to tilt that just a little bit so that you can see it. It's maybe a little too much. Make that a little bit bigger. So now what I've got is a hole in the ground. So I'm going to now go to create, and I'm going to make a rock. And my rock is way down inside that hole, so I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to lift the rock up. Now I can start to see where the rock is. I'm going to change the texture of the rock, so I'm going to put a skin on it that is a water skin. And I don't remember which one I decided on. I think maybe we'll do backyard pool. See what that one looks like. So now you can see I have a little drop of water kind of floating there. Obviously not what I want, so I'm going to stretch it so that it touches all the sides and kind of melds in with my hole that I originally made. And this is going to take some messing with. So like right now I can see that it's actually coming beyond the hole, which is not what I want. So I need to move it back just a little bit. Maybe raise it up a little bit so I can see it better. And I now have maybe a little bit further forward. It's that black line right there. Just a touch. So I now have a hole filled with water that doesn't end up taking out and going up beyond there. Okay, obviously I want to change the ground so that my ground looks like what ground might look like that's near a pond. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make a waterfall to go with this. So I'm going to go to create again. I'm going to grab a mountain again. And this is where we have to start getting creative with what we do with the things that we have. So I'm going to take a waterfall and I'm going to flip it upside down. Not a waterfall, a mountain, I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to stretch it out. And you can start to see how that might look a little bit like water coming down. So I'm going to go to edit my mountain. And just like when we did the logo, if this isn't here, you need to click on this. And I'm going to take away the lowest area so that now I don't have that square hanging out there. I want to raise this up higher. And I'm not going to put water on it just yet because that's a lot of thought for the computer. But I am going to make another mountain, which I'm going to move over to this side. Because waterfalls usually come over a mountain. They don't usually just materialize out of nowhere. Take this one over, stretch it up. And I'm probably going to push both of these mountains that I made back a little bit so the waterfall's in front of it. And bring this guy back. And maybe even put some color on them. I think there's one in here under rocks called Wet wet rock, because eventually it's going to look like wet rock. Let's see what that's looking like. Pretty good. I don't like that it's interfering though. You can see this is like the edge of the mountain, and that's the edge of the mountain. So I'm going to try and push it down further and then stretch it up. Stretch it so that the foot of the mountain is no longer coming out from behind my ground plane. Gotta do the same thing over here. So pushing down. Maybe you can make that one a little bit bigger. Stretch it that way a little bit. So I now have my waterfall coming down over my mountain. Let's maybe flatten this guy a little bit so he's not quite as peaked. And then finally, let's go to my mountain and put some water on the mountain. So I'm going to go to my water, and I think we decided on backyard pool. So now it looks like water coming down from the mountains. I'm going to move my water mountain a little bit further forward and push it down a little bit so it actually looks like it's coming into that pool there. Put this guy down. But now it's pretty much just arranging things until you get it the way you want so that it looks like your waterfall, your mountains, and your pond down here. You also could add, and I think this is kind of a nice little touch, a couple of rocks and put some clouds on the rocks to make them look like a little bit of mist coming off of the waterfall. So right now it looks like that. So I'm going to go to my clouds, maybe put some of this on it. And it takes a long time to ray trace this because it's got all sorts of information going on in here that the computer's trying to figure out. But you can throw in a couple of rocks with clouds on here to make it look like mist. You can see we haven't quite gotten there yet. I got buried. There we go. Yep, I buried it by accident. There you go. So we got a little bit of fog coming off or mist coming off of the waterfall. I put some over on the other side as well. But that's how we're going to start to contain water rather than using that infinite plane.